So we've seen that to engage readers online, we have to tell them upfront what they're going to get out of our writing. But also, we have to know what readers are looking for in the first place. Maybe they're looking for information, or just some persuasion, or some advice, or entertainment, or something else. Think about, if you do like a web search for online dating profiles, well, and you turn up something like this, you're not going to read this on your lunch break, you know, uh, but you might read this, right? Would you read this on your lunch break? Well, it depends. I mean, there's really, the idea is that the reader and the writer purpose must match. If the reader is looking for entertainment and the writer is trying to provide entertainment, then you've got a match, right? If the reader is looking for entertainment and the writer's there to just provide a lot of serious information, you probably don't have a match. Okay. But readers aren't going to read a text to find out if it matches their purpose. They're going to make a quick judgment. Okay. And really, they're looking at four things: publisher, how the site looks and feels; tone, but also, the kind of incorporation of source material. So, like, if we look back, for instance, at this source, well, we've got, first of all, the publisher here is a scientific journal called, the Association for Psychological Science. Sounds serious, right? Look at the tone. Online dating sites frequently claim that they have fundamentally altered the dating landscape for the better. This article employs psychological science to examine whether, right away you get a sense that this is not light reading. I mean, heck, look how dense this thing is. The summary part is 8 paragraphs long. Okay. But there's not much in the way of images here, and the few images that this text does contain are things like charts, graphs, stuff like that. And then you take any kind of typical paragraph, and you'll notice that it's packed full of reference to sources. That's different than the way this feels. Here we've got an Associated Press article. Okay, so reliable news agency to most people. But the tone is a little plainer, right? Not such a good idea, right? Some men on dating sites post topless mirror gym selfies. The images here are kind of a little more practical. According to the article, this is the type of profile picture you should be posting on your dating site. Now, there are references to sources, but it's different, right? Instead of that APA style, we see stuff like this: according to dating experts, says one dating expert. And then finally, you'll look at this thing. Well, this is from The Sun. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but this is a British tabloid. If you hear about the royals suing a newspaper, it's usually The Sun. Look at the language: total swipe out. The language is silly and playful, but so are the images. I mean, my nickname is Gillette because I'm the best a man can get. Also, I will cut you. I mean, and then there's this one. I mean, I'm sorry, but hard not to say that this is kind of funny. All this stuff kind of works together to show you that what the purpose of this site is, right? But there's actually one other kind of interesting way we can look at these sites, and that's through kind of objective analysis of the tone. Let me show you how this works. You start by doing a web search for Watson Personality Insights. Watson is this IBM artificial intelligence machine. This is the thing that beat a bunch of champion Jeopardy players here. It can also analyze your writing. Here's how it works. You click on the thing, you go View Demo. All right. And then we're going to try the surface, and we're going to do a body of text. All right. Now you can see they have some samples for you here, but we're going to do your own text. All right, so now we're going to go, let's check some of these things out. All right, here's our scientific journal article one. Just copy the whole thing, copy it, and just dump it in there. All right, and references and all, and then analyze. All right, and Watson will tell you that, come on Watson, you got this, that this is, well, shrewd, solemn, generally serious. You don't joke much, right? Sounds a lot like something you'd expect in a scientific journal article. Let's try it with another text. Copy the whole thing. Just your own text, clears it out for you. Paste the sucker in there. Give Watson a second to work its magic. Expressive, analytical, philosophical. Okay, that kind of matches, it's expressive. I'm talking about male peacocks and stuff like that, But then compare that to this thing on the sun. Explosive, excitable, and unconventional, right? Kind of goes with this sort of thing where we're just kind of taking, the only real source material is some social media kind of pictures. So, here are some tools then that we can use, right? First of all, we can kind of ask ourselves, okay, like, the site where I'm hosting my work, how my individual texts look, the sort of tone I'm using, the way I'm referring to sources, will these, how do these kind of come together in terms of purpose, right? What kind of a reader am I anticipating would actually want to look at my stuff? And then, we can try these kind of high-tech tools. So, one of them is Watson Personality Insights, as we just saw some examples. The other thing you can do is you can use Google Analytics, and it will tell you your bounce rate. Bounce rate, that's the percentage of users who click on a site and then leave shortly after looking at it. Just like, you might, if you're looking for serious research on online dating, you would look at this and be like, yeah, no, right? But if you're looking for a laugh on your lunch break, you would look at this and say, yeah, no, and you would bounce, right? So, if you want to know if, users are doing that, Google Analytics can tell you. According to one source, these are some bounce rates, like if, average is 41 to 55%. Yeah, that's right. On average, a lot of people just leave sites, which shows you how difficult it is to engage readers, right? And it gives us some kind of goals that we can look for here.